Hello. Hello. I'm Bentley Craig, and this is Things Thought on Circle Drive. And I'm coming to you live from the very tip top of Crawford Mountain. And up here at the top of Crawford Mountain, my mythical Shangri-La, I get a different perspective. And oh, how the perspective is just disturbing. I don't like it. But I want to thank you for coming by today and hanging out with me. Come on in. Relax. How was your day? I hope it was a good day. But sometimes just being alive is definitely a good day for me. I love being alive. I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad you're here. So, I hear through the grapevine, different people, that it's the end of times. This is where we go to a cashless society. Gonna have to get the mark of the beast here soon. Well, I guess if you're not a believer in faith, that probably doesn't mean much to you. I don't know if it means anything to Christians. Because like I've discussed it before, they're going to take the mark of the beast willingly. They're going to be like, yeah, sign me up. I'm good with that. Well, I don't know if the Christians are going to be like that. Some of them undoubtedly will, of course. But if you don't believe in God, and the way I understand it, somebody's going to show up here and tell you that they're God, that they're Jesus, and they're going to do some things that'll going to amaze you. So why wouldn't you join up on that team? You know, like the beast is supposed to show up and be the answer to everything, the cure-all. He's going to defeat a lot of countries and beat their ass. Going to make people feel good about themselves that he's on their team. And shoot, If anything, we need a hero right now. Apparently, even though I think Americans are the heroes, it just, I don't know. Why do they always talk about the end times? Every situation that comes up, and everybody's always so sure. You know, Bush Jr. was the Antichrist, and Barack Obama was the Antichrist. We've heard Donald Trump is the Antichrist. Now, there's a lot of different Antichrist beasts. There's some different things going on. But like the first one that shows up, we kind of go all in on him because he gets mortally wounded and survives. I'm like, well, if he survives, well then he obviously wasn't mortally wounded. But, I guess like maybe he gets shot in the head and his brains get blowed all over the back of the wall. I'm not sure how that's going to work out. But I do know what mortally wounded means. And, it means you die. You die from that wound. In this day and age, I'm sure you could stand in front of a bunch of people and make them all think you just got shot in the head. That could easily be faked. I'd be a little leery of anybody I knew that I saw get shot in the head and watch their brains spray all over the place, and then the next day they're okay. I'm like, wow, that's kind of a neat trick, dude. But stay away from me. So according to the Bible, Revelations and Daniel, well, I guess, the end times is all through the Bible. Cover to cover, it seems like, they're all getting to the end times. And it just amazes me. I've said it before, and I'll think it again. But everybody supposedly just jumps right in. Except, well, there are some Christians. They're running around, hiding and whatnot, and they're getting their head chopped off. Anybody, they're going to have a real bad attitude with Christians at that point. So when they start lining up Christians up against the wall, you're going to know something's up. I guess you're going to have to take the mark of the beast if you want to live. Say, I don't believe in Jesus. I don't believe in God. I believe that guy right there that says he's Jesus. That's cool. He's fine by me. I'm on board with him. Why does that have to be so difficult? I know I'm not God. I don't understand the infinite universe. But why does it have to come down like that? I don't know. I don't know what the point is. It just makes me wonder. But those answers are in the Bible. And just because I can't figure it out doesn't mean some people haven't. Like the number of the beast, 666. That's the mark of the beast, or not the mark of the beast. I guess that's the name of the beast. Anyway, you can find out who the beast is through 666. It says you can calculate his name, and if you have wisdom. And I haven't got that far in my Bible wisdom class. Nope. But what is it? Oh, there's some certain things that I know, there's going to be the Beastmaster. When I was growing up, whenever I heard about the Mark of the Beast, I always assumed that dude was standing somewhere on a podium, giving his speeches from America, and America was going around and with this guy and kicking everybody's butt. And I've heard different people and different things, but I don't know exactly where he's supposed to be standing at the podium. What country? I'm not real sure America's in the Bible, so I don't know how that's going to work out either. I don't know how we play into that. I just assume that America and Israel were on the same team or on the same page, usually. But Israel is Jewish, and so they're not really on the same page. I think those people are going to be all in. They're looking for the Messiah to show up, so when the Beastmaster shows, of course, they're probably going to be going for him. They're waiting on that guy. But, I don't know if he's got to be Hebrew or Jewish, or there's so many different things. And I don't have that wisdom, but I encourage you to. But what effect does this stuff have on someone who's atheist? And just thinking, why does God care whether or not somebody believes in him? Is that wrong to even think like that? Give me free will and then tell me I gotta act a certain way. You could do whatever you want, but don't do that. I'm just thinking. These are kind of like things I think about sometimes. I was thinking that, back when I was 10. 10 was a big turning point in my world. I was almost like an adult at 10. I know it might sound strange, but I was pretty self-aware. I was pretty familiar with God and Jesus. And I wasn't just some brainwashed kid. No. It was upsetting to be a kid and digging on Jesus and knowing that that's the right thing to do, but I lived in a world that didn't operate on the same Jesus value and moral and principle system. They had a different system. These same people. Oh, excuse me. Late night coffee. But those same people who was hard to deal with, well, I saw some of them in church, their grandparents in church, or their cousins. It's not like they weren't familiar, and if you came in to that part of town and talk bad about Jesus, you might get your butt kicked too. So it's funny how different people have different relationships with Jesus and God. I like to think I have a different kind of relationship with Jesus, and I know a lot of other people that all believe they have some kind of relationship. But I guess in this world it's hard to be all in the Jesus. Always, as a kid, I was thinking, well, if the world's going to come to the end as I know it, and we've got the Antichrist, and there he is, and there's the beast, and dude already survived a head wound. What's to say, why couldn't I just go take him out? Would that be wrong? What if you were the guy, this is all getting ready to happen, and then when the beast man says, his little story, and this is how it's going to be or else, and you shot him right between the eyeballs. Didn't say anything about him recovering from 2 mortal wounds in the Bible. Not anywhere. So would that be the end of that one, and would the world just tick on until the next Beastmaster come along? What happened to this world if that happened? That'd be crazy. But I'm just thinking, what are we just doing? We all just hanging out? And are we gonna just sit at home till we eat ourselves? Is the virus just gonna come in through the back door? My neighbor gonna throw it over the fence? I never really heard or read anything about everybody sticking around, staying in the house for a while. But then, when it comes to that again, or is it our rights that I'm bothered about? Or am I just surprised that we're all doing the right thing? I don't think there's anything wrong with us hanging at the house. I mean, it is kind of creepy for the government to be telling us that, they know what's best for us. Whatever. I doubt that. I'm still surprised at how many people never have gone to the CDC. I talked to a few people today and asked them if they knew what the symptoms were. And I got all kinds of stuff today. And I'm like, well, that's not what the CDC says. What? I'm like, no. Have you been there? No. Then I pulled out my little list and read it. Yes, you got to keep your list. You got the fever, you got a cough, and a shortness of breath. There's your symptoms. Talked about that before. Wash your hands. Cover your mouth. Apparently it's not cool to cover your mouth with your hand anymore. Okay? I guess they want you to cough into your elbow is the cool way to do that. Somewhere I missed it. But I usually just lower my head when I cough and cough into my hand. And try to go wash my hands as soon as I can. That's usually my deal. Or I try to grab a paper towel or something, actually. That's my first thing. I'm looking for a napkin, Kleenex, paper towel. Now, granted, when you start coughing, you don't always have that. But yeah, I guess coughing into your elbow is how that works. And I guess that makes more sense than coughing into your hand. But I think coughing in your hand's better than coughing in somebody's face, for sure. So, don't cough in people's faces. Don't want to be one of those people. You might end up being one of the, you cough in people's faces, you probably definitely going to take the mark of the beast. On your right hand or your forehead. I wonder what it'll be. Wonder what it will be. Because I guess people will be able to see it. Just anybody should be able to recognize it. I don't think they're going to come up with a glow in dark light and throw it on your hand or your forehead to see if you got, 666. 666 on your forehead. Wonder what the mark of the beast looks like. I wonder if it's just like a smiley face. An eggplant emoji. Wake up like you were in college and somebody drew a penis on your forehead. Oh, no, you're supposed to stand up and say, I'll take it. But I'm just, yeah, what would happen if you took out the beast? Well, then I guess that wouldn't actually happen. Something would keep you from doing that. Probably one of their snipers. Or your best friend. It's going to be really not a good time to be Christian. I don't think anybody's going to be looking to Christians as good leaders. Yeah, because people are going to be really pissy with the Christians. They're going to be lining up to, help get rid of people who say they're Christians. And that's crazy. What's wrong with Christians? They're pretty liberal people, kinda. I mean, if you're really with it, you mind your own business kind of thing. Don't get up into people's personal things. I mean, Jesus tells you to love everybody. He doesn't tell you gotta go hang out with them, become their best friends. You're gonna love whatever, and you don't have to hang out with them. It's okay. Love your enemy. Doesn't say move in with them. Doesn't say take long walks on the beach. The end times. Mark of the beast. Everybody falling for it. I don't know. I just have a hard time with it. But I really don't feel like anything's happening right now. I mean, I think there's always something underlying in the situation. There's somebody out there with bad intentions. Of course, there's somebody that doesn't like us the way we are, or our freedoms, or our attitudes, or they just think that we're stupid and we're all just eaters. Those people are here now. Obviously, they don't believe in God when you think like that. And Jesus. It's like when people throw it in my face, well, what about the Catholics and the Inquisition or the Spanish Catholics? I'm like, well, obviously you've not read the Bible, or read the New Testament, but you will clearly see that that is not how Christians are supposed to act. So therefore, those people are not Christians. But they said they are. Well, you can say whatever. You can say you're Napoleon. Doesn't mean you're Napoleon. You know, so when people are saying that they're Christians and doing things like that, well, obviously they're not Christian. So, I mean, who would Jesus kill? Well, I don't know. Nobody till he gets back, I guess. But when he was walking around here with us, you know, short bus kind of people compared to him. What would he do? I wonder what Jesus would do. If Jesus was actually just here and being a little, you know, not out and nobody knows he's here. And he's in the crowd watching. I wonder what he'd do. Just he could go up there and get his head cut off. Would it matter if they chopped actual Jesus' head off? Seen in movies, they put their head back on occasionally and on film. Coffee. I know I'm just rambling, but I can't help it. This is something I was just wondering about all day. Do you ever wonder about that? You know, like I said, I've always wondered why I gotta be on the losing team my whole life. I was very competitive. Never was on a losing team. And you know, I feel that, you know, I know I'm not on a losing team, but when at the end, you know, if I'm around, worst case scenario, you know, I'm a loudmouth. I can be. So I'll probably be the first one who gets their head cut off. And I don't like that idea. I kind of like being around here. I hate to miss it too. I like to think I'd be a kink in the whole thing for some reason. But it doesn't talk about when that's all happening that there's some kind of underground freedom fighters putting up the good fight. No band of Christians running around taking care of the bad guys. Doesn't say anything about that. I guess it doesn't say it not happening. You know, but what would you do? You're not supposed to really be killing anybody. So if you're out shooting the bad guys, then, well, is that cool? Do you get a pass? You know, because some places, some religions, if you know, you're not supposed to kill, but if you can save 1,000 people by killing somebody, one person, it's okay then. And I don't ever recall reading any of the murderers like Moses. You know, he murdered a fella. Not that the dude didn't have it coming, I guess, but I don't think there was a thou shalt not kill at that moment. There was a different set of rules at that point. But he still didn't get a pass. So, is it ever doing the right thing, doing the wrong thing? Like I said, it's tough to be a Christian. You know, a lot of people say they are. And a lot of people are afraid to say that they believe in God. They might not even go to church so people won't watch them. How would that be? That'd be scary. I'd hate to think, other than on this radio show, I don't mention my religious beliefs, unless somebody prods me. Unless some people can tell by my actions. Some people think I'm a gentleman. Some people do. And they're not wrong. But what a amazing world we live in, and if you want to live along the Bible, well, how fascinating can that be? How fascinating. So maybe that's why I'm not worried about the virus. Not that I don't think it can kill me. I mean, I'm trying to take precautions for it not to kill me and my honey. I hope everybody else is taking precautions. I don't want to see any of my friends die. People I have known. It's not like I actually don't have a lot of hands-on kind of friends anymore. A lot of my friends, I guess, are long-distance relationships anymore. I'm not sure. Maybe I might think they're friends. They might think I'm just a loony toony. And they're not wrong. Yeah, they're not wrong. I can be quite the freak. Oh, and I was thinking about putting the show on YouTube. I had some friends saying I ought to do that. And I was like, well, I'm not getting on there and talking. It's bad enough. They have to listen to my dummy. I don't know if I'd want them having to look at me for 20 minutes, 40 minutes, 30 minutes. And there are that many people sitting around would watch a video of me just talking, my podcast basically on YouTube with a picture, send circle drive. I'd have to do a lot of work to put up any kind of information. I'm usually just winging it because I'm just thinking here. And hopefully I'm getting you to think a little bit. That'd be cool. I mean, have you ever wondered about those things? What's going to happen in real time if we just happen to be there? It's been a long time coming. And after 2,000 some odd years, well, like Johnny Bench getting up to bat, and after a few no hits, he's due. Dude's due for a hit. This could be it. We could be that generation. Is there that much wickedness? Will there be that much wickedness? And when like Jesus comes back, it's after the Antichrist kind of thing, I believe. There's some bad juju before he shows up. I believe that's how my take on it is now. I realize there's other people got different takes on the rapture and pre-trib and post-trib, and it gets pretty complicated sometimes. Like I said, there you go again. It's hard to be a Christian because we all got different takes on things. And then we get really set in our ways. And we might love our enemies, but sometimes we do not care at all for another Christian's opinion or belief. I mean, Look at all the different Christian churches. You know, Protestant. There's all kinds, Baptist, all kinds of different Baptists, Methodists, all kinds of that. Church of Christ, all kinds of different Church of Christ. Pentecostals, all kinds of different Pentecostals. And then there's all kinds of just, other ways to walk through the door that everybody's welcome. Doesn't matter who you believe in. Come on in. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't think there's nothing wrong with getting the word out or believing you got a different line on things, I guess. But I have noticed that we are definitely ones to love our enemies way before we can take another Christian, Jesus believing, God loving person and hear their opinion. And it just blows my mind. But there's not a lot of different knockoffs of Catholic. As far as I know. I don't recall. Because, I don't know, it's like Lutheran. There's some of those others, like, was that Lutheran Light? Or was Catholic Light? Is that what they call it? Then you just got some other things, like the Jehovah's Witnesses. I don't think there are many breakoffs on that. And then you got the Mormons, or the LDS, Latter-day Saints. And there's a few different versions of that. Seventh-day Adventist. I don't know where you throw Scientology at in the mix. I really wouldn't really call that a Christian religion. I wouldn't call that an Abrahamic religion, I guess. So I wouldn't know how to rate them. Some people probably get a little upset with how it is. And that's okay. That's just my opinion. You are more than welcome to give me your opinion, and maybe I'll change my opinion. You got some different line on some information I'm not privy to, shout out. You can do that at bentleycraig@outlook.com. You can look up Things Thought on Circle Drive on Facebook. Yep. You can hear this podcast on whatever podcast device you're listening to right now, and a bunch of other ones. Yeah. You can hear it on the FringeRadioNetwork.com. Thank you, Johnny McMahon. Thank you, Johnny McMahon, wherever you might be. Oh, yeah. Then there's something going on with the KFSA AM/FM. I believe that's out of Arkansas. I can't recall. It's in the show notes. And I noticed my show notes are a little wacky-jacky at the FringeRadioNetwork.com on their page. I'll have to fix that somehow. It's like, darn it. Because I had numbers, Maybe I should put the symptoms for the China COVID-19 virus, which is what? Say, fever, coughing, shortness of breath, and stay at the house. That's what the CDC says. Stay at the house. Stay in the house. Go sit in the room, watch some TV, and don't come out for 2 weeks. Yes. Maybe wash your sheets a few times. Douse the room down with some bleach spray. I don't know. Anyway. Well, I told you this before. I love you. and I'm glad you're listening to Things Thought on Circle Drive. It makes my day to know that you're listening. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And I hope you come back. Yes, I do. Thank you. Oh, then my buddy out there in Washington, who knows? His wife, she knows. Well, they're doing some work now. They're caught back up. Oh, yeah. They were worried for a little bit. Worried the sky's falling. I don't think the sky's falling. I don't feel it. Back of my hair. It's not standing up on my neck, kind of thing. I'm good. I'm not feeling frightened by this situation. But I guess being scared and believing in God and Jesus don't really mix that well. It seems like I got like backup, I feel like. So that's kind of weird to hear somebody say, I'm sure, but maybe you know exactly what I'm talking about. Well, I'm Bentley Craig, and this is Things Thought on Circle Drive, coming to you live from the very tip top of Crawford Mountain. Thanks for stopping by. Come on back too. Oh yeah, you're more than welcome to come back. But until next time, I'll see you then.